Is an album important to an artist, or is it just a marketing tool used by artists and labels to sell records and go on tour? One might argue for the case of both, but for Nyashinski, it seems an album was a much-needed statement on his position in the Kenyan music industry. In this video, we will look at Nyashinski's debut album, Lucky You, how he got here, and what an album means to an artist. Nyashinski started his career as part of the group Maniacs in the early 2000s. The group enjoyed relative success, having hits such as Hare, Swing Swing, Tuendele, among others. Even back then, Nyashinski was the frontman of the group, proving to be more musically versatile than his two counterparts, Kolo and Roba. Nyashinski was tasked with singing hooks for the group and was also the most recognizable member of the group, seeing him in solo features outside of the group. Their debut album Maniacs Forever in 2005, or M4A for short, and Ogopa DJs, was an album crafted using the then popular Kapuka sound, synonymous with the label. The opening track to the album, Haieleweki, featured an a cappella beat, something we would come to see 15 years later in Nyashinski's debut album. The song Bado Niko features a classic hip-hop beat that sees Nyash and his counterparts claim their spot as rap's best in the country. To many, this song signified their dominance in Kenya's rap world, with a track that contained clever lyricism coupled with themes of bravado consistent with hip-hop since its inception. Standout track Tuendele, which was a response to K-South's Kapuka This, saw Nyashinski stake his claim as Kenya's best rapper, with a track so potent, an opening line so memorable, that the track still rings off in clubs and is always a go-to for any 2000s setlist in Kenya. Swing Swing, which was another big hit at the time of its release, saw the group take a more melodic approach to their music. This song was different from their previous hits, as it was centered around a melodic hook and harmonies that saw it toe the line between a dancehall banger and a hip-hop ballad. To many, Kleptomaniacs were here to stay. However, their run was cut short after Nyashinski's family moved to Delaware in the United States. Nyashinski was to remain in the States for 10 years, with Kleptomaniacs releasing several songs that were well received in the Kenyan scene but were nowhere near their previous hits. In 2016, rumblings of Nyashinski's return began to circulate in the Kenyan media. Quiet and calculated, he had made his return the same way he had departed, in silence. With this, he dropped Let It Go with longtime friend Nameless, who had apparently influenced his return to the country. Built on a chakacha beat and produced by RK, the track was a departure from the old Kapuka style and sound. In it, Nyashinski was singing more than rapping, a foreshadowing of what was to come. For a veteran trying to engineer a comeback, the track was well received, ushering a new audience to Nyashinski while his old fans were left begging for more. What followed, however, not only shocked the industry, but it set Nyashinski apart from the competition. The track Now You Know was met with both critical acclaim and commercial success. Rapping over an emotional piano track with humming for a hook, Nyash let us know how he felt about the state of the industry and gave some insight as to why he may have taken a break from music, wondering whether if he had remained, he would be facing the same harsh treatment his fellow pioneers and veterans were getting. Fans also got to see a change in perspective from an older Nyashinski to whom rap was a mere hobby and he did not do it for the money. A sharp contrast to 10 years prior in Tuendele, where he stated that he was rapping for the money. To many, this was a side of Nyashinski many had never got to see. Standing alone outside of his group's identity, Nyashinski was able to blend both what fans were familiar with and what they were not. The singing came as a surprise to many fans who were left wondering why he never used this ability in his Klepto days. To his old fans, Nyashinski's rapping ability was as sharp as ever, delivering lines that were relevant to the times, demonstrating that he had been paying attention to the happenings in the country while he was away. It would later be revealed that the track was recorded while he was still in the US shortly before his return. Then began the question, was an album in the works? Will Kleptomaniacs be getting back together? An introvert, Nyashinski stayed quiet and let the stories write themselves. Nyashinski followed up Now You Know with arguably his most popular song to date, Mungu Pekee. Dubbed a gospel song, Nyashinski teamed up with producer Sedo, then of Pacho Records, to record the song, which took over the airwaves and introduced him to an even wider audience, one that included religious people and the gospel industry at large. There were even suggestions to have the song nominated for a Groove Award, Kenya's leading gospel award ceremony. The song again was a departure from the Nyashinski of old. The beat featured melodic strings and synths, with Nyashinski's voice sitting on top of all this with accompanying backup harmonies. Sedo's drums gave the beat an Afropop sound, one that was familiar to the ears of the listeners. Sauti Sol guitarist Polycarp landed his talents on the hook of the song. This new sound could be described as an effort to appeal to a larger musical audience, one that was outside of his rap career from his Kleptomaniacs days. Rap critics were, however, critical of this new Nyashinski. Some labeled him a sellout, only interested in making hits and not staying true to the craft of rapping. The same criticisms that led to Tuendelee in 2005 were with him more than 10 years later. To prove his doubters wrong, he released a ballad, Malaika, which will go on to not only be one of the most popular love songs that year, but has since been a staple for weddings in Kenya and elsewhere since then. Malaika was coupled with Aminia, a rap song meant to silence critics who claimed he had lost his rap touch. To the rap purist, he had proved his point. Having reclaimed his position at the top of the Kenyan music industry, Nyashinski went on to release 11 more singles, all of which performed relatively well in the Kenyan charts and airwaves. Currently on his YouTube channel, no single he has released has less than 1 million views, a significant achievement for an artist going through his second iteration as a musician, a solo one at that. Throughout this period, Nyashinski gave assurances that an album was on the way. For 2 years, an album never came. To some, the task of producing a comprehensive body of work was something he couldn't do. It was beginning to look like Nyashinski was a singles artist, one who enjoyed commercial success with his singles and was not willing to compromise this with putting out an album. This may have exposed his weaknesses as an artist, or better yet, it may have landed him victim to the task of trying to please a large crowd within a short period of time. All this while, Nyashinski insisted that he was working on an album, one that will please his fans. He still was performing at shows. His development as a live act was also evident, as most of his performances were backed by a live band that included some of Kenya's best instrumentalists. At the end of 2019, Nyashinski released Lift Me Up. With a video shot in South Africa, the indications that an album was on the way became apparent. This is because Nyashinski's superstardom in Kenya had allowed him to release songs without videos. Songs like Marathon Runner and Balance both have over 1 million views on YouTube without an official video. The song Lift Me Up was a departure from the usual formula. Having spent that much money on this single, something else was in the works. Without an album, Nyashinski faced a criticism that artists like Andre 3000 face. Having been part of the group Outkast, Andre 3000 is heralded as one of the best rappers alive, but since he has never released an album, people cannot concretely support this statement. It is this scar that solo acts try to embellish through albums. For an artist, an album is similar to a CV, a body of work that documents all your strengths, weaknesses, and growth. The process of creating an album is very different from that of creating a single, as one has to be conscious of the fact that this body of work could be consumed in one sitting. The room for error is very marginal. In March 2020, Gig Dynamics announced an open house workshop, one that will see top industry players give classes on all things surrounding the music industry. There will be performances after these workshops. In it, Nyashinski was slotted to perform. The event would, however, be cancelled due to the breakout of the coronavirus disease in Kenya. The government had banned all public gatherings. This ban came a day before Nyashinski was slotted to perform. On the 27th of March, Nyashinski announced the return of the chief chef. This would be happening on his birthday, the 8th of April. This Instagram post was shrouded in mystery as no one knew what was coming. In the days to come, it will be revealed that this event was a pre-release concert held online since public gatherings had been banned. Finally, the long-awaited album was here. Details of the concert continued to emerge. Maybe this was the concert he was supposed to give at the Gig Dynamics workshop. The concert will be streamed live on Nyashinski's Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube account. This event attracted more than 50,000 viewers when it was aired, according to Safaricom, a testament to Nyashinski's star power in the country. During the concert, Nyashinski previewed songs from his upcoming album, which he announced will be dropping 2 weeks after the concert. He also premiered a single from the album, Glory. From his previous single, this one was quite different. It featured a trap beat, something fans had never seen Nyashinski attempt. In the song, Nyashinski contemplated on society's issue with marijuana, which they often blamed all their problems on together with the devil, and all glory was given to God. This again was a departure from his usual style. This song was also produced by Sire, Desmond Bosire, who turned out to be the mixing and mastering engineer of the project. Accompanied by a video shot in Johannesburg, fans were eagerly awaiting this drop. The album titled Lucky You was released on 17th April 2020. The album features 12 tracks. Nyashinski had taken a different approach, teaming up with Piquet Dab as opposed to frequent collaborator Sedo. Piquet Dab will go on to have 6 production credits on the album. Nyashinski himself produced 2 songs on the album, opening track Greener and Fadhela. Sam Are Ali produced the other 3 songs. Opening with Greener, an a cappella song that sees Nyash's voice serve as the whole beat, he delivers a haunting intro to this debut with a reminder that this album will give his fans what they like. In contrast to M4E's intro Haieleweki, this is an indication of an artist who has come far and now understands his craft better and is able to serve his customers with what they like. The theme of the album is mostly centered around the struggles of fame and love. The song Traveler sees Nyashinski reflect on a night out where he meets a lover interested in a relationship, but the fact that he'll be gone by the morning restricts their interaction to this night alone. In a poetic way, this may be Nyashinski referring to his previous life where he was a trucker in the US, prone to loneliness and always having to leave. God sees Nyashinski reflect on his position in the Kenyan music industry, claiming that his comeback was timely as the industry was dead before his return. In this song, he also addresses social issues such as tribal politics in Kenya and the legalization of marijuana. This is a rap song in the typical sense of its themes of wealth, fame, and being the best at the craft. He touches on personal issues, saying that it is difficult to understand him or his issues even though he has been around for nearly 20 years. Songs like Time and Every Day explores Nyashinski's relationships. He gives a vulnerable perspective at how he sees his lover, probably referring to his wife. These songs give a perspective on Nyashinski as a lover and a human being, something we may not have seen in his previous works. Title track Lucky You may be the most personal track on the album. Backed by a guitar and a scattered drum pattern, Nyashinski details the pressure from his career as a public figure, where the media and fans try to limit him to just a brand and not a human being. He explores the ideas others have of him as a famous person for who life should be easy, as he has all the money and fame one could ask for. He goes on to express how his position in the music industry has been solidified despite being mocked for being part of the Kapuka sound. Watch What gives a jarring analysis of societal ills in Kenya. It also sees Nyashinski stake his claim as one of the greatest rappers in the country. Again, the song is done over a trap beat, with Nyashinski showing versatility as both a rapper and musician. Too Much is another track analyzing his life as a famous person. Again, he addresses what fame means to him and how he deals with the pressures of life. Fadhela sees Nyashinski tap into his spiritual side, giving thanks to God, whom he credits for giving him strength to do all things. The album closes with Flowers, a song about love. In it, Nyashinski seems cynical at the idea of love with a person who does not know him. He also expresses his wish to grow as a person and be a better lover. This is why an album matters. A blank canvas on which you could address anything you want without the pressure of needing to please a particular crowd. For Nyashinski, Like You is a testament to his artistic abilities. He uses the album to speak out on issues concerning his personal life, something he rarely does outside of his music. He also gives his perspective on society and how it handles fame, love, and politics. For an artist of Nyashinski's caliber in the Kenyan industry, this album is now set in stone as his debut. It is a record of who he was and who he is now. A time machine of an artist who had taken a 10-year hiatus only to engineer a comeback so great, many did not see it coming, nor did they expect him to keep it up. So now the gates for debates and criticisms are open. Does this album solidify him as Kenya's best to ever do it? Does it prove what many doubters had suspected? All in all, I think this album came just in time, at a critical point of his career where he was beginning to look like he could not innovate anything greater than a great single. The album did not feel rushed or forced. 12 songs spanning under just 35 minutes. It is concise and to the point. Though there may feel like some lows on the album, it is a great album for a debut. Starting with his live stream in April, Nyashinski set the standard for what Kenyan artists should aspire to, both in quality and taste. And now we wait. What does the future hold for him? We can only expect to go up from here. Leave a comment below on what you think of the album. Suggestions for other album reviews are welcome, and as always, remember to share to those who you think might be interested in this video.